I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 22. My name's Latasha Robinson. My family is my mother, her name is Cynthia, my dad, Alan, my sister, Latoya, my son, Dante, and my nephew, Kamisi. When I heard breast cancer, I thought of death. First thing I did was call my mom. She told me just to come to her house. When I went over there, my whole entire family was there already. They had a barbecue. So my dad had the grill going, and everybody was just there to tell me, we're all gonna support you in the fight. My mom, she is a 20-year breast cancer survivor. I look towards her because she's been through the fight and she's still here. Cancer is making me fight for my life every day. And here's what we're doing to cancer. Join us.
Cancer taught me it doesn't discriminate. My name is John Knutson. As a kid, I always was doodling, drawing, sketching, painting. Art is a terrific way to express yourself. My dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in April and passed away within 30 days. 3 months later, my 43-year-old sister passed away from a brain tumor. We're losing family members and friends every day. Cancer's broken my heart more than once. Here's what we're doing to cancer. Join us.
I was diagnosed with colon cancer 2.5 years ago. After surgeries and chemotherapy, I've been cancer-free for 18 months. My name's David Weiberg, and this is my son, Jack. When I was in the hospital, Jack was very apprehensive about getting too close to me. He just wanted to start to remove himself from it or protect himself somehow from what he thought was coming. After surgery, the 9 months of treatment really removed me from Jack's life. I mean, I wasn't really there for him. I didn't teach him how to ride a bike, and I didn't do any of those things. I missed out. Cancer nearly took me from the things I love the most.
Here's what we're doing to cancer. Join us.
Hello and welcome to another segment of Western Wisconsin Journal. My name is Mary Claire Potter, and it is my pleasure today to have 3 guests with me talking about the American Cancer Society Relay for Life of Hudson. Joining me today is John Knutson with Catalyst Sports Medicine, Jillian Nodlin with Picture Factory, and Kelly Burrows, Community Relations with the American Cancer Society. The 15th annual American Cancer Society Relay for Life of Hudson will be held on Friday, June 20th, starting at 5 p.m. and running till midnight at the Hudson Middle School at 1300 Carmichael Road. The theme for this year's event is Lights, Camera, Cure. People are encouraged to dress up in their favorite movie character. In the past 15 years, this event has raised over $2.5 million. New this year are videos that were produced and made talking about cancer and the impact that this has had on so many people's lives. Again, I want to thank John and Jillian and Kelly for joining me here today. John, tell me a little bit about how the videos for this event came about.
Well, thanks, Mary Claire. My family situation is like many. Cancer doesn't discriminate. Most of us, either our spouse or parents, grandparents, or someone in the family, cousins, relatives, or friends, develop cancer. And there's so many different kinds, of course. I had a father who was 79 years old and developed pancreatic cancer, was diagnosed, and within 30 days he had passed away. Within 3 months, a 43-year-old sister of mine that had been dealing with brain tumors for 10 years at the age of 43 passed away. So within 3 months we lost 2 family members. And so the idea came about through thinking about my family members and the process you go through understanding what happened. And first with cancer, you question why. You wonder why it happened, how did it happen, why me, that type of thing. I think one of the strong emotions that comes into play after that is kind of the anger of, again, the why did it happen to me, and it's just devastating, and how you process that. And then finally you come to the realization that you simply have to deal with it. You have to find a care plan, and you have to find a way to fight through it and to get there. But I was getting hung up a little bit on the anger part of it, and thought of the idea of what I'd like to do to cancer. And so the concept in my mind was, gosh, we would just like to destroy it. I'd like to obliterate it. I'd like to absolutely eliminate it, which would be great for everybody. So in thinking about how we could present that to be a positive thing, I started thinking of these little vignettes and stories that could take place that really would be a little bit poignant, tug at the heartstrings, but then have a very explosive finish or have a dynamic finish to them. And talked to Kelly Burrows about the concept and the idea, and last year was the 100th anniversary, and so it was an appropriate time to maybe do something like this. And Kelly and her group liked the idea. So then it was a matter of getting some professionals involved. So instead of a little iPhone camera or a little Sony Handycam, we went to the really big hitters, the professionals in town. So Jillian Nodland with Picture Factory and her husband Craig and their crew. When they heard the concept, they liked the idea. It was a bit innovative. And so with Jillian's help, it really turned out to be a far more professional production than what I could have done by myself or ourselves.
And you were featured in one of the videos.
Yeah, that was not intentional. We really, from conceiving the ideas, it would seem a little, self-promoting to be in, and I didn't intend on doing that. We had a woman who was an artist that was supposed to be in the scene, and actually she had relapsed and had to go into chemo treatments the week of the shoot. And with 50 or 60 professionals all lined up and ready to go, we had to step in, and Jillian actually said, John, I know your story of your father and your sister. Maybe the story from the perspective of a caregiver might be important. And so I did step in and do that. It wasn't intentional, but I think it does bring a different angle to the story from a caregiver's perspective, not just a survivor, because there's more victims to cancer than the survivor.
Well, and the caregiver has such an important role through this entire process. And I watched the videos, and they are truly compelling and touching and just fabulous. So, Kelly, tell me a little bit about what the goal is with these videos.
Well, they're so touching, and they are just really tell the story of what people are going through to cancer and what they really want to do, or what people really do want to do. So the concept is wonderful. So the goal really is just get them out to everyone. Use them, help people really get that really personal touch to what it really means to go through the cancer journey. And, bottom line, it would be wonderful to be used them for fundraising, but we also wanted to build awareness, education, let people know that there are services out there, there are support for caregivers too. I happen to be a cancer survivor, and so I know the role of the caregiver is quite important, and oftentimes I sometimes think that the caregiver role is even harder in some ways. And so to be able to add John's story to that, that three-piece thing is just wonderful. So the goal can be to really broaden the education portion of it, and just about Relay for Life in general, because there's 5,400 relays in the United States, and so just if we can get the word out there to participate, and we have this fun-filled, community, family-friendly event.
So the videos are on the website for the Relay for Life, but how else are they being utilized? And I know that they've been submitted and received a high-ranking award recently. Tell us about that, Jillian.
The Telly Award, and it is an international award, and there are, I can't remember how many submissions. Do you remember?
12,000.
Yeah.
12,000 submissions each year, and less than 10% of them receive the actual top honor. Telly Award. So it's very much an honor.
Oh, congratulations. That's fabulous. How were the people selected that were featured in the videos? I know, John, we heard a little bit about your story, but how did you select the young girl and the other gentleman?
Well, the original concept was actually to use actors that we could direct in front of the camera, but working with the director, Eric Howell, and our cinematographer, Steve Holm, we decided that it would be much more authentic, I guess, and real and more powerful if we had real stories and would if people would be able to tell their perspective. So David Weiberg was one of the participants. Him and his son were in one of the videos, and he was actually our production designer who I've worked with on many projects, and he's a resident in the Twin Cities here, and he's a cancer survivor. And so it actually came to us about halfway through the pre-production process when we were looking for somebody, and we remembered that he has had a recent cancer treatment, and so we asked him if he would participate. The other woman we looked for because we were looking for a female, and we really wanted a breast cancer survivor. And so I went to an organization, an association in Minneapolis, and asked if they could help me connect with someone who would be supportive of our mission and comfortable participating. And it wasn't until we interviewed her and heard her story that we understood how much her family was involved, and that's when we invited her entire family to participate, and they were happy to do so, and we were glad they did. And
I love the part where she called her mom and she said, I just got this diagnosis. And then her mom was like, come home. And then she gets home and the entire family, I mean, what a story. That the whole family's there to support her right from the beginning.
Yeah, one of the key things with that whole concept too is we really did want to, behind the scenes, show the demographics of cancer. So if you look at the 3 videos, we have young, we have old, we have male, we have females, we have the different gender, age, and ethnicity mixes and stuff, because again, cancer doesn't discriminate. It literally is across the board, and I thought we, without saying those types of things, were able to get that point across with the 3 vignettes that we did.
I thought the little boy, was he nervous at all? Because he didn't look nervous.
He did. He wasn't nervous at all.
Adorable. He was really
He did an
cute.
incredible job. I thought it was neat with David too, that, I mean, he's in one of the scenes as a colon cancer survivor, and yet he's directing all the other scenes. I mean, he really played an integral role in getting the whole project done, so it was terrific.
At the end of the videos, I saw this incredibly long list of all of the people and businesses that participated and donated of their time and their talents and their materials. So there were so many people involved in creating and producing these. How did you bring everyone together? It's a really long list of people who donated time, and then all your donations that you did. I mean, this had to be a huge expense for your company.
Kind of mushroomed, didn't it?
it did mushroom in it, and actually it's such a great cause, and it was a great mission that it didn't take a lot of soliciting, frankly. It took on a life of its own, the project did. It did start, as John mentioned, as a small idea and a very local project, but as we started getting people on board, when we realized that we would be interviewing people on camera, we needed to have a director there. The cinematographer couldn't do that. So when we got the director involved, he added his creative vision to the project, which included additional cameras and additional lighting and multiple locations, and so as each of those aspects multiplies, so does the need for support.
Right.
When you have multiple people or multiple cameras, then you need multiple camera operators, and you need more lighting, and you need more power, and then you need more people, and with more people you need more food, and you need more parking.
So Mary Claire, it was a little different than the iPhone concept of video that we were going to do here, so it was pretty.
It really stepped up.
It really
It was amazing. It was filmed at Camp St. Croix, and I went out there to see some of the filming, and I truly felt like I was on a Hollywood movie set. It was just amazing. I'm like, I can't believe this is happening in Hudson, Wisconsin, that I feel like I'm in the middle of Hollywood, because thanks to Jillian, just brought on all these professional makeup artists, hairstylists. It was just incredible.
And there's the subtle things that you don't notice are the things like in each of the scenes, there's super slow motion video. And that comes about because Jillian and her professionals that got involved brought these particular cameras that actually only hold enough memory for 12 to 15 seconds, I believe. And what I've heard is the cost to rent cameras like that are somewhere between $1,000 and $1,500 an hour. And these are all donated. Everybody that got involved really bought into the story. They bought into the concept of helping others through their professionalism. And so to see the level of equipment, the level of professionalism, the level of expertise that Jillian and Kelly were able to bring together for these 3 little videos was really spectacular.
What was the start to end in terms of creating and producing them? I mean, how long did it take you? You had the idea, you had the concept, you brought the people together. So how long would you say that process was to develop these?
We started talking about it about a year in advance, I think, but we had decided with regards to timing and the relay and wanting to promote it here in Hudson and wanting to shoot outside, that entered into when we could do it. So we decided to do it in the spring after everything greened up. Timing worked out perfectly. It had rained for almost 2 weeks straight, and the day we showed up with the cameras, the clouds parted and the sun came
Bright
out.
sunshine.
And it brought lots of beautiful, spectacular colors and flowers, and it was really great timing. But the actual production, pre-production planning of the crewing and the equipment, probably about a month.
The shooting was 1 day.
Yeah,
one,
we did
one
all.
full day.
Yeah, we shot all 3 of them in 1 day. I wanted to add, too, that in addition to all the professionals and the gear that was donated, the Hudson community really kicked in to support us as well. Everything from gas card donations to help reimburse the fuel for the crew and the participants who drove out from Minneapolis or from the west side of the Twin Cities, to food and the cake that was smashed in one of the scenes, to the glass window that John broke actually came from the
One of the
elementary
schools,
school, from Riverside or from Westside Elementary in River Falls. And they were redoing the front of the building, and they donated the glass. So it was really pretty easy. Again, as we started explaining what we were doing and why we were doing it, we didn't have a single person that said, no, we won't help you. So.
Right, and Mary Claire, as a former chamber director, you know this community as well as anybody, and companies like Erickson Oil Products, longtime supporters of the Hudson community, were very willing to get involved. The number of restaurants and stuff, again, feeding that number of people with a morning snack, a lunch, and it was just unbelievable. Like Kelly said, I mean, it literally was a professional set. I mean, obviously this is what Jillian and her husband do for a living, but for those of us that are amateurs to doing these types of things, it was pretty cool. My set was actually, or my dressing room. Yeah, I had a private dressing room. I actually did. Yeah, it was an outhouse there. It was on the scene that they put a star on the door for me.
Of course.
But I was very proud of that. Thank you, Jillian.
Anything.
Okay.
For your job.
Yeah. Next time, no green M&Ms though in my dressing room. I just.
Anyway, is the word we're looking for.
Well, between us girls.
But I would like to add into about how amazing that the Hudson community is for this event and just, for this video, but just for the event over the years too. And it's nameless. There's so many that we want to make sure that when you look at the videos, to look at all that list of the people that,
very impressive.
Because it is very impressive. And it's just this community just is embracing and wonderful to work with over the years. So it was pretty amazing on how it all came together.
Well, and Hudson is known for coming together and supporting each other and doing what we need to do. And I think having the Relay for Life for the past 15 years, which continues to grow and raise over $2.5 million, that's a very telling story. And congratulations to you, Kelly, and the Cancer Society for all your support in helping this community continue to add and grow to that.
Well, thank you, but it really is all the volunteers out there. So.
Well, it is volunteers that make everything. John, you're a longtime volunteer in Hudson too, and we know how important volunteer time is that people give to this community on a number of different areas.
Oh, yeah.
They're giving me the microphone to MC this event again, and I know you and I both are just staggered by the fact that anyone would allow me a microphone and time.
3rd year in a row, too.
No, it was unfortunate.
I don't know what we're thinking. He gives us a big donation.
So you kind of buy your way into it.
Yeah.
I better be
fabulous.
Now there's an obligation for a big donation, isn't there? Yes, okay.
And I can help give you the number
Thank
that you
you,
should
yes.
put on that check.
That's great.
Right? We can help with
Thank
that.
you.
Well, fabulous, and I encourage everyone to watch the videos because they're incredible stories. And as John said, cancer does not discriminate. It affects all of us all the time, unfortunately. But that's how it works, but we're going to beat it and we're going to figure out. I know the American Cancer Society is doing a lot of research and you have a lot of success in different things. You have a lot of test studies going on and happening, and every day we just hope that there's some
In the last
new
20 years, we've gone from 1 in 3 people surviving cancer to 2 out of 3 people surviving cancer. So it's still sad every day when we lose somebody because it's still not good enough when you
Right.
lose somebody, but the progress is there. And at least we're making the progress, and more people are surviving cancer every day. So that's the
great.
good news.
I think the theme of the videos, the concept too, help to motivate people. I think everybody, as John said, has been touched by somebody in their lives, if not themselves, and they want to do something.
Yes.
And the concept really shows how it motivates people to be active, to be proactive, and to do something. And even if it's just smashing a cake or a piñata, we all can contribute something. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and it was all of the companies we approached as well. Even in Minneapolis, the companies that provided the cameras, and Splice that provided all of the post-production for all 3 videos. Everybody at all of those locations has had somebody with cancer in their lives. They've all been affected by it, and they all were happy to participate and do what they could because it was one way that they were able to. So oftentimes people don't know what to do and they don't know how they can support it. So we were able to give the film community, an opportunity to do what we do. I mean, it's something that is a resource and a skill that I have and some connections, and so something I can contribute. And everybody can contribute something by walking and by raising funds or going to the website and learning how they can help more.
I think a good byproduct that's come out too recently is just the dialogue that gets started. People that have seen the videos. There was a recent article, very nice article in the Hudson Star Observer about the videos and the concept and the Telly Award that the videos won. But I've gotten calls, I'm sure Kelly's gotten calls from people saying, hey, the wonderful videos, here's my story. And at least they're talking about it. At least they're getting involved and they're encouraging other people to form teams to come to the relay. And anything that we can do, it really is the ends to the means. We want people to raise money, to go to cancer research, to hopefully find cures. And I think what they are doing with early detections now, with things like breast cancer and prostate cancer, the cure rate is tremendous if it's caught early. So the awareness is really probably the most important thing. Is catch it early and it's more treatable.
And the videos have been perfect to really catch that awareness. And we are utilizing them while they are on YouTube. They can also be searched under Hudson Relay for Life, but would like to emphasize that this is, they're generic, they're not just for Hudson, they're for everybody to use. So share them with everybody you know across the United States, across the world, because they really will be impactful. And we have been using them regionally. I've used them at some conferences, educational conferences within our staff. The staff gets really excited about them. They want to share them with the people that they relay with. Recently there was a survivors dinner up at Bethel Highlands, and the people there, the response, as I'm watching the videos, I'm just listening to them, and they were just like, oh, I mean, just the emotional reaction was just amazing. So it's special thanks to John and Jillian to make it happen.
Well, and with online fundraising, like most community organizations are using now, it's so easy to just email to your address book lists. And fundraising is not door to door anymore. It's computer to computer, and it's so easy now to get out the credit card, make the online donation. I know I do it all the time for people who solicit, and when you ask for as much money as I do, you end up having to give money too. But it really, for the fundraising aspect of it, which is one of the ideas, is to send these videos out, ask for a donation for your team, and you have the link and they can just click it, go online, make an easy donation. It really tremendously increases the donations to the organization by doing the online fundraising. So it works well.
And I think in addition to the money that is raised going to research, a lot of it goes to caregiver support and information and knowledge that gives caregivers and the cancer person a resource to go to learn more about.
There is an 800 number that always has a live person 24/7 that will always be able to help you with any kind of resource, financials, support, anything. And if they don't have the answer, they have the information to get that answer to you. And the number is 800-227-2345. I'd be amiss if I didn't share it.
Very good, very good. Want to talk about the opening ceremony and Survivor Caregiver Lap will begin at 6 p.m. then on Friday, June 20th. And the Luminarias ceremony will begin at 9:30 with closing ceremony lap at 11:30. It's a very compelling event. It's a very emotional event, but it really brings the community together. And everyone is welcome to participate. You can visit the website at www.relayforlife.org, Hudson WI, for all the details. John, thank you so much for sharing your story and helping to get this whole process going, and to both you and Jillian for your work in creating and producing the videos. It's truly amazing. And Kelly, for all your work that you do with the American Cancer Society and helping people cope with these life-changing challenges. It really takes a community and a team to address this, so thank you. In addition to the Relay for Life in Hudson on June 20th, you can also participate in other relay events around the community. New Richmond will hold their Relay for Life on June 13th, Stillwater, August 1st, and Barron County will also be held on August 1st. So thank you again, John, Kelly, and Jillian. Appreciate you being here today. My name is Mary Claire Potter. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope to see you at an upcoming Relay for Life event. Thank you.
I was diagnosed with colon cancer 2.5 years ago. After surgeries and chemotherapy, I've been cancer-free for 18 months. My name's David Weiberg, and this is my son, Jack. When I was in the hospital, Jack was very apprehensive about getting too close to me. He just wanted to start to remove himself from it or protect himself somehow from what he thought was coming. After surgery, the 9 months of treatment really removed me from Jack's life. I mean, I wasn't really there for him. I didn't teach him how to ride a bike, and I didn't do any of those things. I missed out. Cancer nearly took me from the things I love the most.
Here's what we're doing to cancer. Join us.
I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 22. My name's Latasha Robinson. My family is my mother, her name is Cynthia, my dad, Alan, my sister, Latoya, my son, Dante, and my nephew, Kamisi. When I heard breast cancer, I thought of death. First thing I did was call my mom. She told me just to come to her house. When I went over there, my whole entire family was there already. They had a barbecue. So my dad had the grill going, and everybody was just there to tell me, we're all gonna support you in the fight. My mom, she is a 20-year breast cancer survivor. I look towards her because she's been through the fight and she's still here. Cancer is making me fight for my life every day. And here's what we're doing to cancer. Join us.
Cancer taught me it doesn't discriminate. My name is John Knutson. As a kid, I always was doodling, drawing, sketching, painting. Art is a terrific way to express yourself. My dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in April and passed away within 30 days. 3 months later, my 43-year-old sister passed away from a brain tumor. We're losing family members and friends every day. Cancer's broken my heart more than once. Here's what we're doing to cancer. Join us.